So I realized that I am immortal. Not immortal, but immortal. I'm immortal in the sense that those larger beings who have the heavenly bodies, they're from heaven. They're from Sirius B. There are hybrids from Sirius C manifested on the earth, still off limits to the kid. So just sitting here contemplating about the whole thing about heaven and hell, and I realized that aside from pursuing or chasing heavenly bodies, I'm good. Reminds me of that song by Lost Children of Babylon, where they talk about the daughters of man that was so beautiful that they caused the stars to fall. And when they said the stars to fall, they were talking about the sons of God. And probably some of the daughters of God too. Caused some of them to even fall to the degree where there was an attraction. But I don't want to go into what it was, but it says the sons of God saw the daughters of men and they were fair. Fair as in being light-skinned. Like saying that there were no light-skinned women in heaven. All the heavenly women were dark. From the dark star, the dog star, or the dark star. So there were no light-skinned women. And Lucifer drew 1/3 with his tail. He drew 200 of the 600 Agigi that was stationed to oversee the gold project on Earth, outlined in the John Travolta movie, or the movie he was in called Battlefield Earth. He offered them a chance to not be, I don't know how much hard work it is to actually orbit and make sure that nothing leaves the planet. But evidently, they got tired of doing that. Maybe it was so little work done that they were like, yo, give us something to do. Like saying that our job is to make sure that nothing on Earth leaves Earth, despite the fact that nothing on Earth had anything that could actually leave the planet to begin with. But their job was to make sure that nothing was commandeered that they brought down, used by Earthlings to leave the Earth. Some felt like it was a petty job, like saying that no one's going anywhere. They don't have the technology. So they got bored, and idle hands are the devil's hands. And that's when Lucifer stepped in and was like, hey, y'all want to do something? Let's go down there and be gods. We ain't doing nothing else. Sitting back watching these controls, watching these daggone meters, making sure that there's no energy signature of anything being used to the high degree of, insinuating that somebody is actually trying to escape from the planet. So he offered them and tempted them with tales of tale. He told them he was lying too. Oh my God, he was straight lying. He was like, it's some light-skinned women down there and they got some big old booties. But those two things don't go together on the same genome. Big booty and light skin don't exist on the same genome. But he was willing to create something that did fit that description, like saying that where he told them they were going, it didn't exist. But he wouldn't worry about that till he got there. Man, sound like somebody else I know. With that being said though, I have to beware of the heavenly bodies because I am just a mortal. I'm a mortal man caught up in the mortal coil, and the mortal coil is the double helix DNA. That's the mortal coil. So with that being said, there's supposed to be 24 strands to it. 24 strands to it. But despite that, that's not here yet. But where would 24 strands come from? Because we already have illegals coming in from outside of our solar system. Dark matter is always spreading, and dark matter is also the corporeal manifestation of that which is in the physical world, which means that there are certain beings that were actually demoted to incorporeality and nothingness, and their punishment has actually been served. A lot of these beings were condemned to that existence at the explosion or supernova of that larger planet called and it was almost like a temporary punishment. But like they say, dark matter is always spreading, and most of the dark matter that spreads, it manifests as the XX lateral. It's not light. Light is the Y chromosome. XX is the female or the dark chromosome. So it spreads, and they come to this planet in order to offset previous lives or existences, actions. And I can't really say beyond that, but all I'll say is, hey, I personally have actually learned from the whole phenomenon to a certain degree, but not totally. But theoretically speaking, I accept my mortality. I accept my mortality, and in accepting my mortality, I have to accept my limitations to know what I can and can't do. And with that being said, I'm more so prone to, in my honesty, I'm mortal. I am immortal. I have to watch how I say it. I am immortal. You know what I'm saying? Which means that there's certain things, like, I ain't gonna go into the whole little thing, you know, with the head thing. But I'll just say that at this point in time, you know, I accept my limitations. You know, I accept my limitations. And it's kind of funny because right now, like I say, I gotta find out what I'm be eating. Like I say though, this that time of the year where we got like, you know, we got like
stop requested.
I don't trust the red clovers though.
Next stop, South Columbia
And they're sweet
Street
too.
at Fraternity Court.
But you gotta watch out because dogs folk be walking their dogs, and they dogs or lead drops on the side of the road. So if I do eat red clovers, it'll be like off in the field where I know, you know, there ain't no dogs over there. You know what I'm saying? I have to be careful. You know, I have to be. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, it's almost like when I stop eating the sugar, oh my God. They made what's called clover honey. Clover honey, it's like, it's advertised like bee honey, but it's actually clover honey. Off the chain. Off the chain. And red clovers, let me see, what is it? Milk thistle. That stuff is out there too. Those are the ones that look like little bulbous plants, and they're like a magenta. And that stuff sells. It's a liver detox. That stuff sells for like 43 bucks a bottle. 43 bucks a bottle if you don't want to go out there and pick it yourself. It's out there. I've seen it. But there's also some mimics too. There's something else out there. Milk thistle, it doesn't have thorns. I mean, it sounds like this is a thorn, but it's like a there are other plants growing here that come from other countries. Like
Next stop,
different immigrants have brought certain
Street
things here,
at McCauley Street.
and there are new plants growing, like things that I have never seen before. And I'm like, oh, what's this right here? I'm like, and it only comes from just noticing certain plants. I'm like, yo, this don't grow over here. I'm almost like Lewis and Clark. I meant to elaborate on that. Lewis and Clark, my last name Lewis. Lewis and Clark, ethnicity. And I ain't gonna lie, I do want to go on a journey, but I might end up doing something stupid. Like I might end up getting bit by a rattlesnake or something, you know what I'm saying? Be like, that kid was over here. He got bit by a rattlesnake. We just left him, yo.
Street and Credit Union.
We just left him. And like, hopefully he'll heal himself. But, you know, but yeah, it's good. At least in the daytime. Nighttime, whole different ball game. Whole different environment and scenario. So basically my whole deal is that I try to get off the streets for nighttime. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, it's almost like it reminds me of that movie Gangs of New York, where you know everybody loped up. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, though, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's to the point now where I realize that.
Pittsburgh Street at University Drive.
See, I'm silly. See that the bus say NS. NS sounds like the anal site. The anal site is the anal site. Like I got my sights on the anus. It's the anus. You know what I'm saying? Like anus. Or the Book of Enoch. You know, like knocking on heaven's door. That's a dirty, but not a dirty joke. Like I say, the heavenly bodies are those larger bodies. Those are the heavenly bodies from the heavens. Be like, heaven just dropped the angel down on me. Heaven just dropped the angel down on me. You know, but at this point in time though, I have to go and I'm eating this water. But see, it's really winding down to be a real strange part of the day. And I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna stop saying and I'm gonna join the And I gotta shave my head. I've been eating veggies. My junk growing back faster and faster. I just shaved my head yesterday, and it's growing back now. I have a higher water content, and I ate some noodles last night, and I ate them noodles. It salted me up, but I ain't been peeing like that though. See, usually when I eat noodles, I pee. I ain't been peeing, and I don't know what it is. But I know I'm in a salt deficiency because my legs cramped up like 2 nights ago. I cramped up. I was like, man, the whole muscle just locked up, and I was like, man, I can't move. And it's almost like it's excruciating pain. It is one of the worst pains you ever felt. You know what I'm saying? When your muscle and you try to grab it, and your leg be like, oh no, that ain't gonna help you. That ain't gonna help you. That ain't gonna help you.
Stop requested. Next stop, Mesa Farm Road at Ambulatory Care Center.
The bus driver pretty as hell, but I only say that shit when I'm getting off the bus because I can't deal with it. She pretty as hell. I'm ready to go.